What's good, YouTube? David Sports Cards here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. And I have finally returned from the Strongsville Card Show over in Independence, Ohio. It was such a great time, but it flew by. I drove up Thursday after work through the night. Ended up going to the card show Friday, Saturday, and the early part Sunday. Left Sunday afternoon to get back home, and it was awesome. It was everything I expected, and then some. The card show had been on my radar for many years, thanks to a video that Ryan Nolan did way back in the day when it was in the Best Western Hotel. He documented the card show itself, interviewing dealers as well as the show promoter, talking about the history of the longest running vintage only card show in the country. And as a vintage fan, that immediately piqued my interest. I'd known over the years, watching the community and being part of the community, that some local guys had been going and really enjoying it, and saying it's a show that's worth attending. But what really put it over the top for me and moved it way up my card bucket list was the growing YouTube presence, the establishment of the mayor of Strongsville, Chris from Missouri, putting together like a more organized YouTube get together, and then the four collectors guys partnering with the show and some dealers and sponsors to do a trade night last year. I really wanted to make it happen. I circled in my calendar and saved and trying to make things work. When the show decided to move from that Best Western, the hockey rink across, up to Independence, I did have a little bit of pause, not because of the addition of modern dealers, but more so just because of the extra distance and the increased price of the hotels in that area and the logistics of it all. But thankfully, my best friend and yours, Scott, over at Reindeer Studios, he opened up his home to myself, Jake, and Drew over the weekend, and we just had such a great time. Scott and his wife Jenny were such gracious hosts. Beautiful home, tons of laughs and memories, inside jokes. Spent the majority of the weekend with those three guys, and truly three of my favorite people in this amazing community. It really was the place to be, and I wouldn't change any of the logistics or the way it played out for the world. It was such an amazing time, and the YouTuber presence there was overwhelming for a show that was big but not huge, and just seeing so many people that I hadn't seen since our Shriners get together back in November, some collection buy out in Alabama last summer, or even other people I hadn't seen since the Cleveland National in 2024 or the Chicago National in 2023, some people. So it had been quite some time, and it was so great to not only see all these old friends that I don't get to see in person all the time, but to finally meet and interact with so many new people in the community that have made Strongsville a destination for themselves as well, whether they had been going the last couple years or it was their first Strongsville like myself this year. Just so many great people that were there Friday and Saturday. A handful of us folks stuck around for Sunday, and it was just so great to be able to see everybody, share pickups, talk shop, talk life, connect more, and this community is something that I truly will never take for granted. It doesn't cease to amaze me how welcoming everyone is, how positive everyone is. Just the conversation, it's so natural. It doesn't matter that I'm 26 years old. I can have a conversation with people from all different walks of life, but we're speaking the same language with baseball and cardboard. And it's truly a beautiful thing that I happily would make that 8.5 hour drive for again. In terms of the actual card show, I'll go day by day with my pickups here and talk about some of the other things that happened. Friday morning, the show opened for VIPs 2 hours early at 12 o'clock. But before that, Scott, Drew, Jake, and myself got some breakfast at this really nice joint, and then headed over to historic League Park for the Baseball History Museum over there. Got the tour, got to see so much great memorabilia. It's a ballpark that Shoeless Joe and Babe Ruth and Cy Young and so many Napoleon Lajoie, big time stars had played at. And it was cool to just like breathe in that baseball history and see some great stuff and joke around and hang out with the guys and do something baseball related while we waited for the card show to open up. And the VIPs were crowding the lobby to get in at 12 o'clock. They actually ended up opening the doors about 15 minutes earlier than that to just start emptying the lobby out because it was getting very, very claustrophobic, and ended up getting in there. And my plan of attack was, I know this is the vintage only card show and there's the vintage is king, but I knew that was going to be very congested and that I would have all weekend to look through it. I wanted to go on the modern side and see if there was any opportunities to add things to my collection for a good price before the general public got in there or too many VIPs had scanned through it and snatched up things that I would want for my collection. And I ended up striking oil very early in the second row. I ended up getting this 2015 Topps Gold Francisco Lindor rookie in an SGC 7. It had been sold, I think the same exact one, on eBay for like $60 a few weeks back. And I bought it for $70, and raw they sell for $75 to $100. So I was just like, already graded, no chipping. There's only 2015 of them. Francisco Lindor, well on the path to the Hall of Fame. So I was very happy to score a gold rookie of a Cleveland player. I know he's not in Cleveland anymore, but for a reasonable price early. That would not have lasted long at that price in the showcase. So I was stoked to get that. Ended up finding a father-son tandem that they do breaks and they sell off the stuff they don't want to keep to kind of just fund their hobby, their fun, and end up putting this stack together. I got a 2025 gold of Clayton Kershaw, one of the greatest pitchers I've ever seen. Has all his career stats on the back, future first ballot Hall of Famer. Ended up getting this Matt Chapman 2017 auto from Topps Archive Signature Series. This Zach Wheeler on-card auto, one of the best pitchers of the 2020s. I hope he's able to come back from his very rare and unfortunate condition. And got not one on-card Xander Bogaerts auto, this one in the Red Sox uni. Sorry for the glare there. But a second one, this one being a Padres patch auto. And I got that stack of 5 cards plus 2 autos that I gave away to friends for $35. So I paid $5 a card for those. I know for a couple of those, $5 would be like what you'd expect, but the patch auto especially for that cheap, for a guy who's not just fond to me as a Red Sox legend, but a potential low-end future Hall of Famer in Xander Bogaerts, it was a no-brainer and a great deal. He had very fair prices, and if I didn't pick through his table early, I probably wouldn't have got half those cards. So was really stoked to snag those up, but spent my first hour going through the modern side, looking in boxes, looking around for things that would interest me, and asked about a few things, looked at a few things, and ended up striking on those cards. So I was off to a really good start. Spent about $100, and I felt like I got really great value early on. So I moved over to the vintage side, and it's just as everyone had said it over the years about this show. I couldn't walk down the first aisle without running into people I'd recognized. And whether it's stopping to say hi, to share pickups, to chat, I saw about a dozen YouTubers in the first row while I was going through for my first lap. And it was just so great to see people, reconnect, meet some people, and go through. And I ended up about halfway through my first lap running into my good buddy Lou over at Lou Rock TV. And Lou, despite preaching that he's adding to his show pack some cheater glasses to see, he left them at the hotel for day one of the show. So he walked up to me, being, the youngest 2020 vision guy in his Rolodex, and said, "Hey, can you help me look at some cards?" So I walked around with him, looked at some cards he was interested in. He had some amazing pickups, and we had a lot of great jabs back and forth. It was great to catch up with Lou. I hadn't seen him since Cleveland. And we had such a great time finishing the lap, and then I started kind of splitting up and looking for things. Phil Gary had some fantastic overseas issues, including these two Cuban premiums. The other one I have is actually out in the rental car. I still have to grab that before I return it. But this is from Cristal Beer. The colors on both of these are gorgeous. It's the same player. He was an amateur two-way guy who played some minor league baseball, never made the show, but just really great pieces of baseball history with the Latin American side of things. And he had a ton of other great cards, and people got great deals from him all weekend. And my big pickup of day one ended up being a table that had mainly postcards and field passes and pamphlets and things of that nature. And mixed in with all that oversized stuff was this 1967 Topps Punch-Out of Dick Allen. Now, this is a rare test issue. The game, it was this lineup card with a team captain pictured up top, and you would pop out these little white boxes for the 4 at-bats per person, and on the back of each thing would have a result, and you'd play a game and see what the result of the game was against someone else. It's a whole kind of shtick. This one has Dick Allen, Hall of Famer, as the captain. Vada Pinson, Willie McCovey, and Sandy Koufax are also listed on this team. So just to find a Hall of Famer from this set is already a little tough to do, but this was stickered at $75. So under $100 to get this. I ended up getting it for $70. I was thrilled to add a new set to my collection. And to get someone in Dick Allen, who I championed for many years as a Hall of Fame hill to die on, and someone who deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, is now rightfully enshrined in Cooperstown. And I was really, really stoked to get this. What's really neat about this is on the back, the kid who had this, he played with his friend, he wrote "lost 5-2." So this would grade a 1 or whatever. I've seen ones in much worse shape than this. Most of them are already punched, but this is just a fantastic piece of baseball history from the most ingenuitive era of Topps baseball. So those were my pickups from the show day one, but I ended up going to the YouTube get-together, which was my most anticipated part of the weekend. After the last nationals that I've been to, the Thursday night get-together was the highlight of my show in terms of just catching up with old friends, meeting new people, sharing pickups, talking shop, the whole thing. So I was really looking forward to it. But we didn't just show out in droves. We supported a great cause. They were selling raffle tickets to benefit both Mike Moynihan's as well as Theo Clemente Collectors and Hugo Sign of the Pastime. They're both going on 2 separate mission trips. And we raised collectively as a community over $4,000 that night to support those 2 great causes. on top of sharing drinks and pickups and buying and selling cards from each other throughout the night. I got to hang out and talk to so many fantastic people, many of which that I had not gotten the chance to shake their hand and introduce myself in person yet. And it was just a really great night. When things started winding down a little bit, there was a little more dealing happening. And Tony over at Tony Talks Cards ended up selling me this Louis Aparicio 71 Greatest Moments for a great price. And I absolutely love this set. Another test issue. Black border is really tough. And this one on the back, I love these because they have the typeface. So this is the Chicago Tribune for the White Sox. And this one talks about how Luis led the American League in steals for a record 9 consecutive seasons from his rookie year in 1956 through 1964. And Louis Aparicio, someone that I have a lot of him represented in my collection with the Venezuelan roots and him being a former Red Sox, but did not have this one in the collection yet, and I appreciate Tony giving me the deal. Ended up selling the 2 cards I brought, one to Jake, and it was really just a great time. We were there probably till close to midnight, and then had a classic Swenson's run afterwards to grab some food, and just a fantastic day, start to finish. Over on Saturday, we ended up doing a late start. We agreed that we were there from 12 to 6 or whatever on Friday, that we didn't need another full day at the show. So we ended up going to the show around 12:30. It was packed. The general public came out in droves on Saturday. You're going to hear a lot about that. But it didn't change the show or the ability to find YouTubers or the pickups at all for me. I ended up picking up a Jim Thome bobblehead, old school one, for $10. I got 20 65 Topps comments for my set, slowly chipping away at that. Ended up saving this 67 Topps Rusty Staub in a PSA 6 out of a value slab bin. Nicely centered for $10. And got 2 Aurora Vision records. This Frank Robinson, which had been on my hit list for a while, did not have it. Such a great image. Unpunched. As well as the Alkay line, and JD Heckathorn had these autographed. So give me a great deal on the 2 of these with the cases that fit them beautifully, way better than the topplers I typically put these in. So Saturday, we were at the show for about 3 hours or so, because we wanted to make sure we got over to trade night early. Scott, Drew, and Jake were all setting up. So I wanted to help them load in and get ready and be all set, because we knew that it was going to be busy, based on the YouTuber turnout, as well as the fact that dealers and regular show patrons, it was being advertised to everybody as a public event to come and wheel and deal. And from 6:30 when the doors open through 9:30, 10 o'clock, it was humming. There was so much business happening, so many cards switching hands, people sharing pickups, having drinks. They had another raffle that night. I ended up winning raffles both nights. I won a Reindeer Studios t-shirt on Friday night. I got a Wilson Franks that you'll be seeing me in future videos wearing, as well as card shows. As well as on the trade night, I ended up winning a Hope Solo autograph photo and a Carl from Oz t-shirt, which again you'll see in videos and stuff in the future. But it was just an epic event. The Four Collectors guys did such a great job organizing it, keeping it tamed, and there was a line forming, not quite out the door, but like very very long, to get in right away at 6:30. There was business happening like crazy. I ended up walking around and I scored two things for my collection. I ended up getting this 1970 square proof of Willie Davis. Really clean. $20, which to me was an absolute steal. And my best friend Scott ended up selling me Lou Boudreau autograph, new Hall of Fame autograph for me, from the Ted Williams card set, already Beckett certified, for $5. He drives a hard bargain, that's Scott, but $5 for a Hall of Fame auto, already encapsulated. I could not say no to that. It was really, really amazing night. Helping them set up. I got dealer experience sitting behind Jake and Drew's table for a little bit while they walked around and picked up some great stuff for themselves. And just so many great conversations throughout the night with people. It was really, really awesome. I jokingly said in Matt Straight Race Cards video that the hobby's alive and well, but it really is. Like, it doesn't matter what's currently happening with the world or the economy. Like, there was a ton of money being spent before the show on Thursday, at the show Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and at the trade night, of course, after hours. It was amazing to be a small part of that room. Jake and Drew ended up leaving first thing Sunday morning. I ended up sticking around because I was getting Buddy Bell's autograph on Sunday morning, 11:30. Scott ended up waiting in line with me and took pictures of me with Buddy Bell. He was hilarious. So he had a pretty big line, and I was in the back half of it. So he might have been a little like over it by the time I got up. But I shook his hand and I told him that I was from Connecticut. I drove from Connecticut to be here. And he just looked at me and he was like, "Why?" And I kind of told him that I was visiting friends, and they told me this was the place to be. I didn't ham it up too much about, like, I drove from Connecticut to see you. It was a nice bonus, but that wasn't why I came, so I wasn't going to lie to the guy. But he signed the autograph, was just like, "Oh, well, thanks for coming." And I was wearing my Hall of Fame jersey, and I wore it specifically on that Sunday because I believe Buddy Bell deserves a real look for the Hall of Fame. I do think he's one of the best third basemen outside the Hall and is above the Hall of Fame line. Buddy Bell, I don't know if he agrees with me, because I told him as I was going that I really hope you get to don one of these soon, because you really belong. And he went very sarcastic. He was like, "Yeah, that would be nice." And I tried not to laugh because I believe he belongs. And I really do hope that me and him get that Paul Rudd Hot Ones moment when he gets inducted into Cooperstown on an era committee in the near future. To be at Cooperstown and be like, "Hey, you remember me?" And you like joked about you wearing one of these and being here. Like, "Hey, look at us. Who would have thought?" He's 74 years old. He looked great. He was in good spirits, and a really funny guy. Thank you, Scott, for waiting in line with me and taking those pictures. I walked my last lap around the show floor with Scott after getting the autograph, and ended up scoring a handful of things. Ended up getting a Sitco coin from '69. These are tough to show on camera, of Dick Allen. Didn't have one of those in the collection yet. I got a stack of Kellogg's cards from JD, the 1970 Louis Tiant, the 1970 Reggie Smith, the 76 Carl Yastrzemski. Lou Brock, my birthday buddy. This might be my favorite year of Kellogg's cards. And the Dennis Eckersley rookie, which has been on my hit list for a while. It's not an expensive card by any means. I just hadn't found one at a price where I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to buy right now. Ended up getting those for a fair price. And walking around, found a dealer with more bobbleheads. Got a Larry Doby for $10. So 2 Hall of Fame Cleveland bobbleheads of all-timers for $20. No brainer, especially when I now have to fly and pack them into luggage tightly. I was looking for stuff like that to take home with me, and was thrilled with those prices for those guys. You pay more than that for fan favorite guys up here on the East Coast. But I ended up scoring a alternative rookie of Jack Morris. This is his 1978 Burger King rookie. Ended up getting this a little bit below comps, and was happy to have a bargain bin alternative rookie score on the final day. A couple of them. So had a fantastic show card-wise. I didn't spend all my money. I didn't go for something really big. The prices were a little all over the place. Some were asking for record prices. Some were right on comps. Some were, some of the deals got scooped up right away. But it's a cliche. It truly isn't about the cards. I wouldn't necessarily drive 8.5 hours if there wasn't something sports related going on with the community. I don't know if we'd all necessarily meet for a picnic, but this was a great card show. I think akin to a Shriners level show, and it was spent with so many friends, old and new. I have so many memories, met so many great people. Ended up getting stickers from Rusty's Vintage, autograph sticker for my boy Kyle over at Collecting America's Pastime. His Cards in the Land shop was set up. This guy repping his t-shirt Friday night. Ended up getting some custom cards. The new 4 collectors. John 3D80's kid on the Pee-wee. Scott's new Manny Sanguian, as well as his signed Ernie Banks ad card. Sammy Thunder gifted me this 1950 Gillette ad of Dom DiMaggio, my namesake. And this Leprechaun fellow ended up giving me not one McFarlane, this amazing Hank Aaron, but a Mickey Mantle as well. These were both from the Virgil collection, and I remember when I was helping him load them up, I was just like, "Are you selling those?" And he was like, "Yeah, you get first dibs," and then he ended up giving them to me. I really appreciate Jake, Drew, and Scott's friendship, all the friends that I got to see and meet, and I want to close this video with a really awesome special thing here, because Andrew over at Dog Ate My Card Collection ended up passing out these packs, and this is a 1975 Topps pack. He broke up a set. He said there's a hit in every pack, and there's 5 cards, so you get to experience what it's like to open a 75 Topps pack, because one, I can't afford an unopened 75 Topps pack, but if I did, I sure as heck wouldn't open it. But for the YouTube content and for Andrew's generosity, I'm going to do this here live on this video, and you're going to get to see my results. So here we go. Bob Forsch, Jerry Russ, 65 MVPs, Versailles Maze. I'm doing the 65 set, so very on brand there. Len Randall. Oh, Dick Drago. Ladies and gentlemen, I hit the Keith Hernandez rookie. That's sick. I opened a 75 top pack and pulled a Keith Hernandez rookie. That's in great shape too, dude. Wow. You can tell I don't open packs much, huh? That's awesome, dude. I gotta top load that, and that will be the Keith Hernandez rookie in my collection forever. I know I already have a couple copies, but that's special, man. Bobby Tolan, Bobby Stinson, Robert Metzger, and Bill Fahey. So a little more than 5 cards. I thought that's what he said was 5, but this must be how many was in a 75 top pack. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you to all of you who stuck out to the end here and chose to watch this. I know based on how many YouTubers I saw and talked to this weekend that there's a lot of Strongsville content out there for me to catch up on, let alone for all of you. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below your favorite Strongsville memories and pickups. And I'm just so appreciative, like I always say, to be a small fish in this big pond that is our YouTube community. It's truly something special that I'm never going to take for granted. Love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.